Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the Flatout Racing Network's broadcasting of the 2024 Rolling Thunder Gaming Happy Holidays 200. We are here at the winterized Michigan International Speedway. 35 drivers going to take the green flag here tonight. Only one of them is going to be leaving with some Christmas cheer here, looking for that final checkered flag of the 2024 overall season in RTG. I'm Seth Cole alongside Jessica Shelton. And Jess, a special event here tonight. No points on the line. Huge field here this evening. And this racetrack, it will cater to the Speedway side. It will cater to the Super Speedway side. What are these drivers in for tonight? Because we've broadcasted this ever since 2021. And we always seem to have the unexpected happen in these type of events.
Yeah, I don't remember if this track is actually really slick or not regarding the exit pit road. I don't know if you can tell me that or not.
I don't think so, but I'm not 100% certain. I don't think I've ever turned a lap here.
Neither have I. I'm just asking because I don't remember. Well, with it being Michigan, we know what to expect in Michigan. A lot of draft reliant, but at the same time, off of turn 2, we know they got to be careful, otherwise they'll either oversteer or hit the wall. If they hit the wall, they bounce off. And you know what happens if you're on that bottom and you push up. You get a little bit of contact going 3 wide based on it being draft reliant, and that's all it takes. But at the same time, you back off a little too much or oversteer on that inside line off of 2 sets, you're going to go around. And when you go around with all that inside traction, I don't think it's going to be easy to control it. I think you're going to go around and around and around, and then gotta have new tires.
You talked about tires. I was just going to touch on that because in the past, in the last 3 years, it has kind of seemed like, yes, the draft manipulation comes into play, but if you can preserve that right front tire, we know the tire heat's going to build up there the longer the run goes on. Those seem to be the drivers that are either able to move their way to the front of the field or if they're already there, maintain their track position. But with the big field here tonight, 35 drivers taking to the green, a lot of opportunity for double wide and 3 wide, which means you may not be necessarily thinking about tires this evening.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan is not only, we really don't really think about tires when we go to Michigan, honestly. 9 times out of 10, we always look at positioning yourself for pit road based on that fuel mileage, because that's what Michigan's always best known for. But, I mean, what's the wear on, Seth? Is it times 2 or
I believe
3?
it's times 2.
So, let me guess. We're going to be making pit stops every CTS. It takes, what do you reckon, about 20, 25 laps roughly?
I would
I'm not
say
sure.
somewhere between 25 to 30 laps. I'm not exactly 100% certain on what the number is. Obviously, it would be longer run than what we've seen on Thursday nights at
Yeah.
Talladega, since this is uh,
Well,
less
well,
more than half a mile shorter.
well, you race sometimes in the Monday bare bones.
Yep.
Would that be about 30, 33 laps roughly then?
I would say, I think maybe 30 is about the furthest that we would see as a max.
Well,
That's a guesstimation on my part, though.
if we go green, and I'm being a
Right.
hypothetical here, and I'm going ahead and putting this out there so no one can blame you for once in your life. Put it by there. If we go green all the way, which is highly unlikely, but just saying if we do, and I'm not saying these guys are bad drivers. I'm just saying that's how intense this racing can get. We go green all the way, Seth. 30 and 30, that's 60. And even if they go 33 laps, that's still 66 laps, or even, right there on the cusp. If they go green all the way, that's going to be kind of interesting at the end of this.
Can
Someone's
make
going
it
to have to say,
very interesting in that regard, because, yes, 70 laps of racing here tonight. And,
it'd be,
oh, by the way, I
what?
don't know if the drivers are aware of this, but we were told that the
Don't say
admins.
it, don't say it.
Well, I mean,
What?
do we
What?
wait? Do we wait?
Well, someone could actually be watching the
That's true.
broadcast of
Okay,
racing.
I'll throw out a teaser. The admins have a Christmas gift for the drivers tonight, but we won't tell what it is yet. Okay, is that good
Yeah, there
enough?
you go. There
Okay,
you go. You don't open until Christmas Eve.
that's right. Do not open till Christmas. Frank
Um,
Rivard, he got gifted
but
a Christmas present because on the random qualifying draw, he gets the front row with Chris Emery.
yeah, that's
I
what I was going
believe
to say.
2 of our 3 previous event winners are in the field here tonight. The defending winner, Sean Prime, is not in the field here tonight.
No, he's not. But what I was going to say is, look at all this gaggle of guys up front that we normally don't get a chance to see up front. This is going to get really exciting based on it being, like we said, a super speedway technical type track. This is going to be great seeing all of them up front.
Green flag in the air, and yeah, I was just looking, the Canadian contingency up there. You got Frank Rivard, Andre Mahjong, Bob Lachance, Andre Charest all up there inside of the top 5 for the start of this race.
And as we said, there's no points on the line, so this is going to be all exhibition fun, bragging rights. Just a little holiday get-together for a holiday cheer.
Absolutely. And that, that sometimes will take the pressure off, too. If you end up getting involved in a wreck or something, yeah, there'll be some frustration if you were running well, but since there's no championship hanging in the balance, no playoff spot on the line, it does kind of, I don't know, it softens the blow a bit.
Keith Bynum up in the wall. Whoa, Keith, hold on to it. Here's some in there.
And that's, I think, going to bring out a yellow. Pat McCarsky in there.
Yeah,
John Godfrey.
I saw Keith Bynum slide right across and go straight up and barely tap the wall. And when he came off that wall, it's like I said, but I didn't expect it to happen off in 3 and 4. I expected it off in 2, but well then.
You asked about grip, and I did notice on this initial start, and we'll obviously follow it up on restarts, I did see quite a number of the drivers up inside the top 10 getting pretty squirrely on entry into 1 and into 3, so I feel like cold tires may be a talking point here tonight.
More than likely it will be. I mean, that raises another question. With it being cold tires, do you want to stay out and pit for tires and when you do come to pit road? I mean, would you rather just stay out and keep the tires wear just a little bit longer? That way, when you get back going, they're a little bit warm, which means they have a little more heat than these guys with brand new, fresh cold tires.
Oh man, I don't know.
Your brain, huh?
I don't like either scenario. I don't like the thought of slightly warmer but worn tires that have cooled down under pacing. I don't like the idea of fresh slick tires either.
Well, I mean, we sometimes get a little bit of grip and worn tires, so that's what I was wondering.
But depending on how many pacing laps we have here as we're watching the replay there, nice job by Keith Bynum not collecting up either Dante Ricky or Rodney Sullins, but we've seen drivers on restarts, with 2, 3, 4 laps, cool those tires down enough where it's almost the same degree of temperature that they have as opposed to the drivers that come down and take fresh tires under the caution period.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what strategies differ once we get into this race. I mean, obviously, right away, the first couple of laps, we can't really tell, but as we get deeper into it, we'll probably see some differing strategies. That's a great possibility here. I do want to ask you for a quick favor, though, Seth, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Let's look at some of these schemes, especially the tribute one for Schilling, and we definitely have to look inside, and I mean inside and at that Grinchmobile over there with Supta.
Oh yeah, the Grinchmobile. We've highlighted that car multiple times that we've broadcasted this event. As we'll bring it back here and show you, because it'll say Jeff Supta's driving the 11 tonight. I don't know. Our live footage says otherwise.
Yep, seeing is believing, right?
The Grinch there. I love the eyes on the headlights. I've done that a couple of times on a race car.
Yeah, you did that for me too, if you remember the.
Yep. So I have a
huge
huge appreciation of that kind of detail. I also noticed he's not driving a Monte Carlo. It's a Monte Grincho.
That really?
As a manufacturer, I never knew existed until now.
Well then.
Going all out on that scheme.
I didn't know that. I didn't see that actually.
See if we can find that 4 of Brian Schilling as well. Of course, we saw this paint scheme a couple of times in the Tally Challenge. And then we've not seen Schilling for some time, but there it is, the Acme Wile E. Coyote car. That, of course, is in tribute to Wile E. Coyote.
The decklet has Robbie Nice's before on the back too.
Oh, does it? Okay, we'll see if we can see that as that car comes around here out of turn number 2.
I like how they implemented that, especially after the rough year that RTG's had regarding people having the unfortunate passing.
Absolutely.
But we have a lot of festive. We got some of these guys with festive schemes. I mean, we have I think Andre Mahjong. We've got going through here.
I could be wrong, but I think this is the first time that Dante Ricci's debuting this scheme, the Coca-Cola Polar Bear car.
Yeah,
He has number
I don't recall
84.
it either. And look at that Dodge. I mean, I'm surprised to see that one.
Yeah. When's the last time he drove a Dodge?
No idea, honestly.
I'm trying to. His Tele Challenge car was a Chevy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it was a different manufacturer, but
I
I don't think it
I
was a
think it
Dodge.
was a Chevy, but I could be wrong.
Jeremy Jeffries has Toys for Tots. I don't know what Pablo Chance has. Like I said, Andre Tres has a different scheme. Quite a few of these guys have festive schemes tonight, so it's good to see them though.
Yeah, Toys for Tots, that Jeremy Jeffries car. That car's been to victory lane here. That was back in 2022. We first started broadcasting this event in 2021. The 2021 event, Jim Gloud was the winner of that race. Gloud is in the
He is
field
here.
here tonight, but if I recall
Miliella.
correctly, that was when they were racing trucks. They then moved over to running the Aero 88 cars in 2022 onward. And there's Gloud
Well,
actually
let's
right
see.
there, right behind
Yeah,
Jeremy Jeffries in the 72.
we're on the outside of Grant Wesley here, but that was well, that was shoot.
I think it was
I'll
the
think of it in a second.
NCTS 09 trucks, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about because my mind was going to the 15s. I don't know
Oh
why.
no, yeah, I don't think it was that modern of a truck that year.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think my 48 was that mod. I think it was an CTS 9. But anyway, going through some of these, I mean, I'm surprised to see some of these drivers here tonight. I didn't expect to see some of them. Like we said, Brian Schilling's in the field. Grant Wesley's here tonight. It's great to see Grant and Schilling after not being able to see him for a while. Dante being back here as well.
And a lot of these drivers too that we're seeing up here, like a Frank Rivard, Andre Mahjong, these guys race on Monday nights, they race on Wednesday nights. We don't see them
Yep.
on the usual Thursday night broadcast in the Super Speedway series. So a nice melting pot of coming together of all the different series that run on a weekly basis here in RTG. Now taking part in this one event here tonight. As I said,
Yes.
35 drivers coming out tonight. I was actually hearing from Dave Cannon. He wasn't expecting this big of a turnout, but man, everyone's showing up tonight. They want that early Christmas gift. As green flag back in the air here. Lap 6 will go on the board. Let's see if these drivers can settle into a bit of a long green flag run, allow these tires to come up to temperature.
Basically an all-star Winter Winston series.
That's a
right
good
here.
call. It's like an all-star race.
Spanning out of everyone from different series, yeah. Keep finding them a little bit higher up than what everyone else is running. I don't know if that actually worried them based on the last run or not, but they'll get a little bit more careful and gingerly in there. I think if you get a little bit too high up like you see right... Oh, there goes Bob Dixon.
And there's another one up ahead of him. Oh, that's actually Greg Palmer's blown up.
The first thing I saw was Dixon get sideways, and then I thought he saved it. Then I saw him get sideways again, and then I was strolling through the field when you said there was more to it. So, yeah, Dixon was the first one I saw get out of line.
It may have been only Dixon that went around. I think Palmer's, I don't know if his engine letting go led to the Dixon spin, but nobody else had actually spun out. I just saw the smoke, and it was the engine smoke from the 22. Now, I can actually say it now because we've had now 2 cautions here come out, and the drivers will already be aware. The
It's
early
Michael's
Christmas
fault, not
gift,
mine.
the early Christmas gift for these drivers was there's no damage tonight. So if you're involved in an incident, you've got the chance to be able to come down pit road, put on some fresh tires if you need them, but you're able to continue on with no damage whatsoever. The tough break there for Greg Palmer is no damage does not fix mechanical issues. So that's going to be the end of the night for Palmer. And it looks like the official diagnosis is an engine piston going south on his car as we'll take it back to the back straightaway. And this was just with no warning. He's running behind Chuck McClure, and all of a sudden you're going to see the engine let go. He was 13th on the restart. And let's see, as everyone scatters, is this what leads to the 143 going around? No, it doesn't look like it. He's already spun around back there.
Yeah, like I said, I saw him get a little bit sideways on his own. Looked like he was just having an issue trying to either... I think what Bob did was back off the gas a little bit, and it just snapped around, I think.
You know,
Unless he touched the apron.
that was something I was wondering about because I think that this was a talking point last year as well. When you lift off the throttle going into either one or three on those cold tires and it unloads the car, it makes it super loose, and that's something these drivers have to deal with. But with all the traffic up ahead, there is the possibility of a lot of checkup where you do have to lift, and then you find yourself in a compromised situation. As we look here at the 143, oh, he had a nice run there on John Godfrey. Almost looked like he wanted to dive to the inside. Godfrey slammed the door, and then that check up, that lift by Bob Dixon is what sent him around.
So, just an opinion. It's cool if it's a no. It's cool if it's a yes. Either way. Got that driver, the 22, still here. You want him to come up here and say hi to us?
Sure.
Buddy left your channel.
See if we're able to get a hold of Greg here. Tough break there for him. He'll finish 32nd. I said there were 35 drivers that were going to take the green flag here tonight. There actually were a couple
Buddy
of drivers that
joined
didn't
your
take the
channel.
green, and I believe there was a driver that came in a triple-digit number that was actually on the grid. So it was actually only 32 drivers took the green flag tonight.
User was moved to your
Hello.
channel.
There he
And
is.
we have Greg. Greg, obviously, man, that's a tough way to go out there this early on. But I mean, driver's point of view, what were you guys dealing with here, especially on these restarts and race initial start? Because it looks like tires are a little frigid right now.
Oh yeah, you definitely gotta warm them up. Gotta wait a lap or two, maybe a lap and a half, couple turns. We were just feathering it. That's it. I was just burping it, going into turns, and let them warm up, give them a lap or two. And yeah, unfortunately, I go down the back stretch. I give Chuck a little bump, and my engine blows.
Man.
I noticed that on the restart, Greg, that some of them are a little bit higher up, and it seems like they're backing off more. Is it pushing up that bad in the corners?
In the beginning, yes. On cold tires, definitely it is.
So we ended up getting told, and Justin, let me let the cat out of the bag here early on in the broadcast because we know that sometimes the drivers they'll be tuning in while the race is going on. When did they actually let you guys know that it was no damage? Because we were told it was going to be a thing, but they weren't going to let you guys know right out of the gate.
I believe after the first yellow, they said, "Don't wreck anybody, guys. You can, but there's
Oh,
no
you can,
damage
okay.
anyway." Yeah,
You
but they
can
said
wreck.
don't. Yeah, they said don't. So then they let us know after the first. Was that the first lap on the first yellow? I believe it was. And he says, "Yeah, there's no damage." I'm
You
like, "Oh,
can,
okay."
but you don't. I feel like that's what parents tell their kids about opening presents before Christmas. You can, but
Yes,
please
you're
don't.
right. Yes, yes.
Shake the box, but don't open it.
So, based on what you have been hearing and how, I mean, I know you kind of had an issue early on, and I'm sorry about that, first couple laps only. But based on the environment of the atmosphere of everyone in there, they're all there having a good time, enjoying it. Like we said, it's an exhibition, fun to get together race. But for you, how does it pan out in your mind? Is it just a throwaway race in your mind even before that happened? Is it just always a throwaway fun race, or do you take anything from this race moving forward to the next season that you're about to start?
Nah, no, not at all, Jess. This is a fun race. Get together, having a good time. Yeah, I mean, during the season, you hang out with your teammates, your garage mates. You make your moves to go up to the front, whatever. This is for me. It's a new experience to race with somebody else, follow somebody else, and stay with them, or what? Just feel each car, each driver, how they race. If you get my drift.
Yeah, learning new
Oh,
stuff about your
definitely.
opponent.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
See who you can work with in the future and etc.
exactly. But this is like not one of the tracks to do that. But I'm just trying to get a feel for it because we don't race this track, of course, once a year.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I'm just getting a feel of it. Other drivers, see how they race, what their line is, when they let off, stuff like that. You know the deal.
Do we have any new developments with the 22 Greg Palmer moving forward? Is he going to be showing up at every series, or going to be running specific series coming up, or what?
Yeah, I'm really a super speedway guy and a mile-and-a-half guy. I'm not a short tracker, road courser. So in each series, if I'm available, if there's a super speedway going on that night or a mile and a half, you'll see me in there.
Well, we
All
look
right,
forward
Seth.
to that, Greg. We're sorry that you got taken out so early on in this thing with the mechanical failure, but have yourself a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We look forward to seeing you go back to work in whatever series we end up seeing you run in starting in Season 64 in 2025.
Yeah, most likely Thursdays and whatever else they come up with.
Sounds
Can I
good.
can I also bring up a point, because I don't know when I'm going to see you again, Greg? First off, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, and if you do need me to ever help out with that team thing or whatever, because we're not broadcasting them all, but if you ever need me, just message Seth. If you don't see me or anything, just message Seth. Seth knows my phone number. He can get a hold of me.
10-4 sounds good. Appreciate that.
Yep,
I appreciate what you did for our team.
not a problem.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Absolutely.
There's no chicken.
Good
No
night.
chicken.
Hey,
What's the
happy
motivation
holidays.
then?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you and your families, and I'll see you guys.
Absolutely. That's Greg Palmer. Unfortunate early end to
User
his
was
night.
moved
The
out of your
mechanical
channel.
failure there just at the prior of the second caution coming out, but we've been able to run about 3-4 laps now under green flag conditions.
Did you see that start of that? They went about 4 wide at the start of that.
Yeah, don't go away, Greg. If we end up having another caution, we may need to have you come back and talk again. They seem to want to race better when Greg's up here in the booth talking with us or something. I don't know.
Uh-oh. Whoa, a little bit of contact with Paglia. Paglia in the wall 3, 4 times, 5 times. Jeez, that
Very
was a little bit of
slow
a
down the back
yeah.
straightaway.
That was between Makarski in the 197 and Paglia. That was a little bit of a side by side push up, tap, bump, hit the wall, hit the wall, hit the wall, hit the wall, trying to get off of it. But if you get off of it, you're going to go around. You're trying not to go around to cause a caution.
Chris Emery's worked his way up to second behind Grant Wesley, who we saw take the lead from Frank Rivard. Rivard had a big block on Wesley off of turn 4 in the front straightaway, but Wesley was able to find the lane down just above the white line on the front straightaway to move on by for the top position. Now, Denny Carroll moving into the third spot. I know that obviously draft laps come into play in lap times in practice, but both Denny Carroll and Grant Wesley, I believe, were amongst 2 of the top 3 fastest speeds laid down in practice. So we know if we're looking at some drivers that can manipulate the draft to work to the front, probably looking in the direction of both those drivers who are about to be 1-2 out of turn 2 if Carroll can complete this pass on the 000.
Whoa, Schilling, hold on to it. I'm sorry, Seth. I thought Schilling was about to get loose and lose it off of turn 2 there.
Paglia's recovered. He's now going around Pat Makarski, but you've also got Demar back here and Jerm Lewis a long ways back in the 616.
Now, I'm wondering, with the way these guys are racing this track, it's a different track, it's winter, etc., but is this driving in your mind like the actual Michigan tracks that we have seen in the past in different track variations?
I believe so. I believe it's very similar to your typical Michigan track. Maybe a little...
Whoa, there goes Godfrey.
Godfrey with contact from, I believe that was Ron Hagelin. That's going to bring out the third yellow of the night. But that actually brings up the point, Jess, that I was going to say is I feel like this Michigan is just a little bit more narrow in terms of the racing lines, because you saw right there, both drivers, we'll even see when we go back in the replay, I believe we're both trying to share that dark gray section where the optimal grip is. You put your right sides just up in that light gray, and there is a difference in grip levels there. So I think it's a little bit more narrow in terms of the grip availability, which then leads to that contact if somebody has a slip up.
I don't know if we're racing back or something, but I noticed that it got really aggressive after that. I saw Frank Rivard making a lot of blocks and getting really aggressive trying to hold that position. But going back to the Godfrey issue with Hagelin, if you look before that in front of him, there were 2 drivers that got really, it was in front of him or behind him, but there was 2 drivers that almost touched right there going to the corner. They pretty much settled themselves out real quickly. Then all of a sudden, Godfrey and Hagelin got into it. So yeah, you're right. They always seem to want that same bit of real estate like we see on Thursday night, Seth.
That was Keith Bynum and Glenn Harris you were describing right there, right ahead of where the contact took place. And another tough thing about Michigan is, and its sister track Auto Club can fit into this category as well, is there's a lot of gray area in terms of who's at fault, because there's a lot of real estate that, dependent on the line the inside line driver and the outside line take, they're going to end up intersecting, it seems, at some point. Inside line car is going to probably push up, outside line car is going to kind of diamond the corner and come down, and so that's kind of one of the pitfalls of this type of a racetrack as well. We'll kind of showcase that with this aerial view going into turn 1. I do have a physics question. John Godfrey in that 711, I'm not exactly certain if it gives him an aerodynamic advantage, but we saw Greg Palmer have the engine failure. How is the engine surviving on the 711 when he's got a red bow on the grill covering over the air intake on the front end of that car?
You want to know the answer to that?
We just had a incident off of pit road. What in the world was that?
I was actually further back, so that's when you were saying that.
Let's see if we can find. I don't know if we can get a good
35?
Yeah, the 35 and the 043. Brian Lovell just got shot off into the snowbank. This was just moments ago as everybody came down pit road, and Frank, I think Frank was in first gear coming off pit lane, that number 1 pit stall, and he had a wheel spin and it shot him to the right into Brian Lovell's driver's side door.
Well, no, I'll go back and look here. Let's see, he's down. First gear.
They're all checking up there. I think Frank's trying to...
No. He hit the wall.
Oh.
He hit that inside wall when he was turning to the left, getting ready to make it, and when he hit that wall, he bounced up. When you're in that low gear, any will contact will automatically do that to you.
I think we may have just had some retaliation.
Oh, we did?
I just saw Brian Lovell in the snowbank, and the 35 spun around further back. Oh. Huh.
Okay, I need to go look at this. Where is this at? Oh, there we go. Lovell was up there.
Okay, I'm...
Alright.
I don't know. This could be miscommunication. The 35 might have been trying to go up to the outside of the 1. The 043 was trying to move by the 35, but it could also be the other thing. But I don't know.
Hey,
it's an exhibition race, last race of the season. You can settle a rivalry tonight too. Why not?
It's Lilo and Stitch. He's touching me. I'm not touching you. He's touching me.
Well, we'll follow up on that. We'll keep an eye on those two drivers for the remainder of this race. Looks like Frank Rivard back down pit road.
Well, what I was going to say about before we got to pit road.
Yeah, let's talk about John Godfrey's bow again.
Yeah, you were asking about that. I mean, maybe the bow is like Red Bull. It helps give him wings so he keeps going or something. I don't know. He just hasn't gone up yet. Put it that way.
There's nobody. There's nobody in this field sponsored by Red Bull, I don't think.
Secretly, that you know of.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I don't know about the associate sponsors. There may be a Red Bull sponsor.
I mean, I have an idea why we haven't seen Jeremy in the lead yet.
Oh.
Maybe it's because his car's got so much coal in it.
Oh. There's no toys in there for tots?
No. Oh, crap. I said the wrong name, didn't I? Wow.
Oh, were you thinking Supta?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking Supta. I thought Jeremy was driving the Grinch car.
Oh, no, that's... Gotta add another 1 on that car.
Wow. I can't believe I fell that badly on that. And on live broadcast, too. Anyway.
We got Grant Wesley out in front, and we got Jeff Wesley in our YouTube chat saying Grant is the best driver in the field. Prove me wrong. Well, Pace Car's led the most laps so far, so I think that Brett Bodine might be the best driver in the field at the moment, statistically. But we also had a question of how deep is that snow? So,
well, it goes all the way up to close to the roof. So
how tall would a normal race car be? Probably like 5 feet off the ground?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm 5'8", so what does that tell you?
It's got to be at least 6 feet deep. I think the snow has to be.
Well, let's put it this way, Seth. It doesn't matter who you are. Um, we get all these cars. You got green on top of Grant's car.
Yep.
You got dark blue on Emery's car, etc. I honestly believe if Ulysses went in that snowbank, we wouldn't find him. Period.
You know, you're probably right. It's an Icebreaker sponsored car, so it'd probably be very at home in the cold.
White and blue too.
Yep.
And just like his heart, completely cold.
You know, actually, I was just thinking, who in this field? I don't see an orange car. Would we have a snow miser and a heat miser car?
Do you have to bring that up?
I have to.
I had the worst race that I've ever had at Christmas Miracle regarding that, and I ran that one time.
I do remember that.
Yeah, because you made the car for me.
Yep. All right, we're going back green. 20 laps going to be completed. John Godfrey did retire out of the race after the second incident he was involved in tonight. He'll join Greg Palmer in the garage area. 30 drivers still running all on the lead lap. Had a nice little green flag run there. Let's see if we can have another one.
Yeah, I believe Godfrey left, so I couldn't bring him up here, unfortunately.
Emery going to slide down there in front of Dante Ricky. Ooh, man. Those cars in that inside line really wanted to push up off of turn 2.
Well, you know how, and I don't mean to be rude about saying this, you know how Mr. Jeff said Grant's the best driver? The only other person that I know of for a fact that could argue that point at this point in time would probably be that 39, because we've heard stories of Josh dominating an NRT 400 race at Michigan.
That's true.
We'll love to see that happen.
Josh back there. Looks like he's around the 8th position. Might be 9th, unofficially 9th. In the gray ghost machine.
I do have a question for you, though. Anyone in this field that you see of, that you know of, that ran the mega team race at Michigan, that actually has a good record? Because I know Grant's up here leading.
Oh, boy.
Kelly Causey's up here in battling for fourth to try to keep it from Denny Carroll.
Seems like I recall Randy Waugh was up there quite a bit in those team races at both California and Michigan. Danny Carroll as well. Yeah, I don't know if that kind of experience will come into play. Someone just went way up the track there. That's 51.
Stay.
Bob LaChance.
And they saved it.
I don't know if there was contact or if he just got way up out of the groove, but nice save by the 51. Was 11th last time by. It's going to drop him back around the 18th position. No damage, though, so what would have been in moderate damage, more than likely aero damage on the right side. Good recovery, and he can now work his way back forward again.
Absolutely. That's really nice that the have no damage is very forgiving at this point in time. But yeah, I was just curious if that would actually have benefited anyone regarding their experience over there lately.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would say quite a bit more.
The only reason why I would say probably not is because those races were heat races. They were sprint races. And they were 4 times wear. With this being only 2 times wear and a lengthier race, you get into more of a rhythm, and there's not as much of a sense of urgency, I would say, as there would be in those. If we end up having like a shootout near the end of this race, then I think that experience could definitely come into play, though.
Based on all these cautions going on, I mean, think about it, Seth. That actually might be worth having the experience at this point in time.
Oh, wow. Jeremy Jeffries up the racetrack and into the wall there.
Whoa, 4 wide back here. So whoa, give room, guys, give room.
Hagler in the middle of that, Jim Glaude, former winner of this event. Sandoval on the inside there. Chuck McClure making his way on by. There's gaggles of cars everywhere through this field. It's hard to tell where to focus on.
I noticed that Frank Rivard's faded back here to the 27th position at this point in time. I don't know if it was based on pushing too hard early, you think, or the wrong lane at the wrong time?
Well, remember he had that incident on pit road with Brian
Oh,
Lovell, and then
yeah,
he
yeah,
came back
okay.
down pit road the second lap of caution, so he ended up
Yeah.
losing all that track position because of
I
that.
completely forgot about that. That's my fault on that.
I'm noticing a lot of these drivers up here, even inside the top 5, slapping that wall off of turn 2 here. I think we're already starting to have drivers right front tires screaming.
And have you noticed that when they go to that low side, some of them are actually hitting that apron too,
Yes.
and that's really got to mess up their entry and exit
That's
for
why
the next
track
turn.
position, especially on restarts, is optimal, because if you are able to be up inside the top 3, 4, 5, it's easier to maintain because it's harder for drivers' maneuverability to get around you. As there was a pass around the outside right there, Josh Metallic around Andre Mahjong for the 7th position. And
Josh Metallic's talent showing.
yeah, he's working his way up here now to try and challenge Randy Waugh. I'll say it one time tonight, Luigi, in honor of Michael, for the 6th position.
Who?
The man who's watching Sonic 3 tonight.
Pansy.
Lead change.
Anyway.
Chris
Like
Emery
Pansy. Anyway, lead
got
change.
to the inside of Grant
Whoa!
Leslie.
Someone hit the wall hard up back here. That was Andre Therese hit the wall really hard off of turn 2. I'm glad they got no damage, because that right there would have really done him in.
Yeah, there's a lot of drivers that have brushed the wall, slammed the wall, but obviously they'll lose momentum with doing so, but they can at least continue on with having no damage here tonight, as Dante Ricky trying to find a way around Chris Emery, and Denny Carroll now to the inside of Grant for 3rd. Here's the battle for the lead. Dante to the inside.
It just seems like that exit, the high side gets that run off.
Yes.
See, watch Emery here. He's going to start pulling, and there he goes. It looks like that inside has the beneficial when it comes into cornering.
Oh, caution's
in that
out.
turn.
I just saw the yellow lights on the back straightaway.
The entry, it's like the inside lane gets that huge run, but then, 3 wide per second. Whoa, guys, hold it.
We're racing back. Dante throwing the block there on Denny Carroll, as that's
Looks
for
like,
2nd.
Looks like it involved Glenn Harris back here, Seth.
Krispy Kreme Chevrolet. Glenn Harris, the Challenger Series champion in the Bare Bones Racing Series on Monday nights this season. Congratulations to him on that. But here this evening, at least nearing the halfway point, not having the best of luck, as this was actually all the way on the exit of turn 2.
Jeremy and Dante all the way on the inside.
You talked about the struggles of Andre Charest, and he just really pushed up the track there. Glenn was checking up to avoid him, and I believe that was Pat McCarsky that he got into and spins around.
So, if I can ask you real quick, because I was trying to think about asking you into a segue, but it didn't work there. How long did we go green for on that one?
That one we went 9 laps. Well, 8.5.
I wonder if he said they're going to take 4 tires or 2 tires here, and if they're going to take 2 tires, I wonder what sides. What would you do? All 4?
Honestly, I feel like all 4. If you're going with 2, then I think you're looking at right sides, but I think I would go for all 4. We can follow him here down pit road, actually, and see what they decide.
Dante's all 4.
Chris Emery, looks like, are they going around? Yep, they're going around to the left side of his car. Denny Carroll's down and away already, though. He might have gone with 2.
I saw Chuck and Schilling get with 4.
I think most everybody went with 4. I think the 41 might have gone with the 2-tire strategy, and more than likely is going to emerge with the race lead on the upcoming restart. Doug Hewlick staying out an extra lap here, as our Jerm Lewis. Hewlick was involved in that last incident. I mean, if we're looking at potentially the max being 30 laps, I mean, we're now in the realm of 1 stop to the finish.
Yeah. Then he stops. He's playing with the throttle the whole time, and he's gone. I think he might either taken fuel or just right size because it looked like his. If you go back and look at Denny's car, Seth, it looked like it was stopped and kind of like popped up, but not on the right or left. It looked like it was kind of like popped up for a moment, and then it just like went on the ground and went straight on. I don't even know if it took lefts, rights, or what.
Let's take a look and see.
That was interesting.
Looks like right sides. I think we'll see the right
Yeah,
side of the car, lift right
on my end.
there. Yep, he went with right sides only.
On my end, it just looked like he popped up in the air like one of those Indy cars, just like pop up and get tires and go down.
Jumps up from the center and they just change all four immediately.
Maybe we should think about doing that in NASCAR. See what happens.
Yeah, that you got.
I mean, think about
you got a
Michael
bigger
Jordan.
field, and you have much closer pit stalls with everybody coming down usually on the same lap.
Well, I mean, Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin have a lot of say in that series now, apparently.
True. Got a lot of leverage, don't they? Along with Bob Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy. Siegfried and Leroy.
Larry
Jerm
Mack
Lewis.
and Leroy.
Looks like Jerm Lewis might actually have no thoughts of coming down pit road here. It's like he's already declared he's going to restart on the inside line, so this will be interesting. We've got some varying strategies up at the front. Lewis, remember he had lost the draft. It looked like he might have been very much in conserve mode for his tires in preparation for maybe a caution like this. He's going to have about 8 green flag laps on his tires. Denny Carroll is going to have fresh right sides, but he'll have worn lefts, and then everybody else behind will have fresh Goodyears.
Where was it at? I just saw Randy Walsh spinning. I don't know where he is.
Oh, Glenn Harris is stopped up here in 3 and 4 as well. What's going on?
I want to back that up real quick and see what happened. I want to back that up with Randy Walsh and see what that was all about.
Oh, I think Glenn might be having hardware issue. His car disappeared and then reappeared again. Might have had a tab out.
Randy's coming out pit road, 70 miles an hour. He tried to back down real quick in the first gear and he just spun out. Yeah, that wasn't fun, was it, right, Randy? Alright, Seth.
So that's what happened there with Glenn Harris. And then
Randy just downshifted. He was basically clutching coming in, slowing down, downshifted, and went round. It's like, Lewis that happens.
Did hit pit road, gave up the lead to Denny Carroll, so you see lights are out, so we're going back green this time with Carroll and Wesley the front row. Emery, Ricky row 2. Causey, Andre Mahjong row 3, then Jeremy Jeffries, Jeff Supta, Richard Martin, and Ronald Lucet. It's going to be the top 10. You know, you look at this, Jess, I know we've had some cautions to cycle this out, but a couple of drivers that have done very quick work of moving to the front. Dante Ricky rolled off the grid in 21st. Denny Carroll, our race leader, rolled off in 30th. Andre Mahjong, actually, no, correction, I was actually looking at his triple-digit number down there. There was another driver I saw that was up here towards the front that had worked his way up quite quickly. Who was it? I just lost him. Yep,
Chris Emery.
Completely lost him.
You said triple-digit number?
No, I was looking at Andre Mahjong, but it was when he was in the server in the 337. He actually, Andre actually.
Well, I mean, I see Rodney up here starting to make his move for the front with
Rodney
DMAR.
Started pretty deep in traffic. I think he started back in 21st this evening.
DMAR's right here on the inside of Supta. We haven't really talked about the 43 machine too much.
Nope. And we've actually yet to see either of our 2 former winners from the last 3 years lead a lap tonight. Jeffries in the 1 or Gloud in the 72.
I also want to point this out, Seth. Now, you see these guys up front, right? You know how it's just jostled up a little bit of the field, just, here and there. Do you think we're seeing these guys up at the front pushing, like giving it a little bit more oomph to try to stay up here? And do you think the other cars are just sitting there relaxing, just holding their stuff, staying with the draft, knowing that they've got more that they can give it. They're just trying to be very careful.
I think so. I think you've got mixed agendas. The drivers that don't have the track position doing everything they can to hope, if this thing continues to trend green, that they can maybe come out on the other side of a strategy call on the plus side, whereas these drivers up here at the front, realizing how optimal track position is, they're wanting to maintain it. I mean, we haven't mentioned the word tonight, but aero tightness is huge, especially at a track like this with CTS physics. I think that's why we've seen even drivers up second through fifth slap the wall off of turn number 2. That car out in front with the clean air has got a lot of turnability, not having to deal with that aero tightness through the center of the corner.
Well, it's not going to be long before Grant's going to get another challenge because it looks like Chris Emery is starting to look left and right again, getting a little bit of a run right here on him, a little bit of a bump on that little back end. Now, if he gets enough of a bump prior to that entry of the corner, it could completely screw up Grant's entry, and then, Chris Emery would be completely free to take advantage of it. But I don't know if that's going to happen soon. He might just wait to the very end to start being more aggressive on the back end of that 88 machine.
These Aero 88 cars run with CTS
Whoa, hello.
physics.
What did I just see back there? There's a big wreck.
Massive wreck there. Josh Metallic, Brian Schilling, Jim
Whoa.
Loud, Bob LaChance. There's
that
more.
Wasn't the first one I saw. The first one I saw out of line was Supta. He was way back. He wasn't even involved in that big pack to begin with that went around that we came to at the end of the trial, Seth. Supta went around a little earlier, I believe.
There's the
Everyone's kind of emerging. Everyone's emerging from the snowbankment, and then like we said, when I saw it and I said something, we had that other wreck off the exit of the trial going into one, and then you said there was another issue where Metallic went around. So about 2 or 3 different issues going on at one time here.
Call off the snow plows. Mark Paglia did get out of the snowbank. That was a lot of cars over there. And we're making contact here on the exit of turn 2.
Andre, hold on.
Andre Mahjong with a bump from behind, courtesy of Denny Carroll. We heard it from Greg as well, utilizing tonight as an opportunity to be able to kind of size people up, get used to racing with other different people. We mentioned that this is a culmination this evening of drivers that race on every one of the weeknight series, Monday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. They don't necessarily always race with each other week after week after week. Some are kind of, they choose what series they want to run during the course of each week here in RTG. So the feeling out process and kind of the driver tendencies this evening might be catching some others off guard.
And not just that, the track. I mean, how many people have, we got like the Thursday night series. Yeah, that's super speedway. This is Draft Reliant. We get that, but that doesn't mean that, all these other guys are aware of how Michigan drives. Some of them actually might be getting used to them. Some of them may have just, been away from Michigan for too long and just now getting used to it. Who knows?
Well, even specifically this version, they only run it once a year. They never run it at any other point. And we saw right there what happened with Supta. Looks like a misjudgment by Richard Martin. Was trying to tuck up in line behind the 11 and just clips the left rear quarter panel. We get another look at it here as the Grinch goes for a little slide through that. I'm pretty certain it's about 6 feet of snow on the front straightaway. I feel like they should supply these cars with snow plows on the front. I know that wouldn't do a whole lot in terms of downforce. They would probably grind every bump on the back straightaway, but at least they could plow their way through the snow if they have a situation like this.
Somebody call Stephen Plowlard III.
That's a callback. Why
Couldn't
did
help
he,
it.
This is a random question, but why did he never run a snowplow scheme?
Why did he not run a snow track scheme except for the Auto Club race, which didn't even have a lot of snow on the bottom of the track anyway?
No, that's true.
That makes no sense.
Let's see if we can find where that secondary incident began.
That was with Metallic, I believe.
Was it? I'm seeing...
There was one where I saw Glad was involved. I think that was the big one off past the start-finish line. You said you documented Suptas, right? So
yep. I believe it's actually the 51 that gets spun here.
And then you need to go look at Metallic.
They're going to go 4 wide. Yeah. 4 wide. LaChance comes down across the nose of Bynum. And then Cloud is in it. Charest, Randy Waugh. I believe Chuck McClure got a piece. Brian Schilling. There's Doug Hewlick. We got cars through the snow. That's Garland Oaks right there. You just barely saw his roof avoiding going through the snowbank. Metallic involved. Believe I mentioned Brian Schilling's name already. Here's another look at it here. I'm not necessarily 100% certain if the caution had come out yet at this point when Supta got spun, or if we were still green.
Well, Supta was spun, we were still green, and then right when they all started racking out at
you're
the
right.
start finish line, that's when the caution came out.
Yep. That's what I was wondering. I didn't know if it was one of those cases where the 11 didn't go completely around until he was down off what NR
Off the
deemed as the
track,
racing
technically, yeah.
surface.
Then, what happened to Metallic?
He just was collected up in the... I think he kind of got squeezed into the wall. I think it was by Brian Schilling.
And that was a little bit further down the track, but that's what I thought was the third incident, but it was part of that same
It was all part
one.
of the secondary, yep.
Okay. Alrighty.
Here's a look
So,
at
we
it
got-
here. We'll focus on that 39 from the aerial shot into turn 1.
Be careful, he might go up into North Wolfgang. Careful.
It's actually Ronald Lucet and Richard Martin that made contact that sent the 43 down into the 63.
So, Seth, quick question. We hear about people wanting to win the opener of their series. We hear about people wanting to win the last race of the playoffs. We hear about people wanting to win the elimination races or the bracket series or the challenger series or whatever, right? We hear about the all-star race. To me, tonight, with the way these guys are driving, it seems like they really want to win this race.
I think so. Hey, you know, we talked, you know, with drivers that ended up finishing on the podium in the finale for the Tally Challenge. So, you know, what does this do for you in terms of momentum for season 64? I mean, tonight could help in terms of some momentum for the upcoming 64th seasons of the respective series as well. Yeah, there's no points on the line, but there's definitely bragging rights. There's an opportunity to be able to put this race on your resume if you haven't already previously taken a checkered flag in this event, and then, of course, as well, ride that positive momentum into 2025.
I just want you to think about this, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, okay? Think about if Ulysses wins this race, imagine what it's going to do in our team seat.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Well,
I got nothing against them, but so.
Well, we got the opportunity here. Want to shout out the champions this season in Rolling Thunder Gaming's 3 respective series. Monday night's Bare Bones Racing Series, Jeremy Jeffries took the overall championship. Glenn Harris, the Challenger Championship. Wednesday night Lightning Truck Series, Jeffries doubled down, picked up the championship there. Andre Charest with the Challenger Championship in that series. And then you saw it last Thursday night, in the Talladega Challenge Series. Tim Knopfsker claims another championship, ending a long
that was a good
championship winless streak for him, absolutely. And then our own Jessica Shelton, the Talladega Challenge bracket champion for season 63.
Michael Norman did what? Yeah, but that one was a really good nail biter too at the end of that.
It was. Actually, was talking earlier tonight with Tim Knopfsker. He still can't believe he won that championship. Jeffries was, I believe, 3rd, and Knopfsker was 9th on that final restart.
And it came down to where they were shifting positions within the final 10 laps, and what was it, 2 cautions, and that's what saved them right there. That second caution at the last restart. But anyway, back to green here. 42 laps are on the board, coming around to get the 43rd one. Seth, what do you think this is? Whoa, Bob Dixon!
And we're wrecking. Caution's going to come out. Paglia's around as well. Garland Oaks. Going to go for a little spin there.
I'm watching up here. They're 4 wide.
Bob LaChance also went around on the 51 as Grant Wesley throwing in the clutch already. You saw right there going into turn 1 after receiving the yellow.
Making sure everyone slows down because, like you said earlier, everyone's getting kind of comfortable with everyone else's point of backing off on, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Everyone's breaking point.
There's Dixon. There's Bob LaChance.
All right, we're all good. Everyone's good out here now, I think.
Looks like Mark Paglia, who was involved in this, looks like he's called it a night. He'll get credited for 30th here this evening in the 28 cars. See if we can find the 143 of Bob Dixon. It might have actually been the Bob and Bob show.
But what I
Dixon
saw was the
sweeping up
back end of
LaChance.
the back end of Dixon's car came around, so I started to see it, and then I saw McClure trying to avoid it and really close by right there. That's what I saw at that point.
Might have been some hitbox.
It looked to me like it was the same issue as before, where Bob Dixon was backing off and turning, and then McClure and everyone was just a little bit too close to him, trying to avoid.
Here's a look from the aerial shot. Yeah, it
Did
just almost
somebody
looks
get
like
back up?
Dixon checked up a little more than McClure was expecting. Bob LaChance swept up, and then you just saw there, top of your screen, the 28 of Mark Paglia. Loop it around. So I think he went to the apron to avoid, and there's not a whole lot of grip down there, and at the high speed these drivers are carrying, too, that's a flat surface.
And I do apologize to anyone who doesn't understand why I don't really know about everything in detail with the replays, just because if it's not like for the championship issue, I try to keep with the live while Seth goes back and looks at the replay. So I only see what I can see it from the back end. Seth is usually up at the front. I'm 9 times out of 10 at the back.
That's why you're calling out where all the wrecks are. Because that
That's
mid-pack to
what
rear of
seems
the
like.
field has been...
That's been a focal point tonight.
It's definitely been rush hour traffic, if I can coin a Christmas
Well,
term.
look, it didn't get noticed all season. Now it wants some notoriety. You're so busy calling the races up front all the time. Well, what about us? Look at us. We're gonna make the news.
Al Sullins says that he checked with state weathermen, and the snow trackside is 3 feet 8 inches. I feel like it's a
38.
little higher than
38,
that.
get it? 38.
Oh!
That was a good one.
I
That
missed
was a
it.
good pun on
I
that
missed
one.
it.
I like that. That one was good.
Gotcha. I'm glad you're here, because that completely went over my head.
Okay, Charles.
You're gonna throw Sanford onto the bus?
What? I forgot he actually exists. I'm sorry, I haven't seen him in how long?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm throwing him under the bus.
Been a few months for me. It's like Andre Charest. Not Andre Charest, the other Andre Major.
Wow. Wow.
Has
okay.
retired from the race.
I can't wait till one of the Andres get a hold of you now for that. He made a mistake. That's right, Mark Martin won the race.
I don't know. Maybe there's a little of personal resentment there that I called out Andre Charest's name, and this is jokingly. I don't have any hard feelings against him, but there was a race that we were at. I want to say it was at Dover, and I had a Coca-Cola sponsored car. I was running behind Dante, who had a Pepsi flavored car or Pepsi sponsored car.
Wow.
He makes the pass on Andre Charest. Charest lets him by. He then pulls down in front of me and says, "No Coke, just Pepsi."
Yeah, okay. I want anyone who's actually listening to this to understand that Seth Cole gets on his knees and he licks the car to know if it's Pepsi flavored.
Metallic Pepsi flavored.
So now you're gonna bring Josh into this. Wow.
That's something they should do. Scratch and sniff race cars.
You brought Josh's name into this by saying metallic.
I did.
Good job. So now Josh is involved, and maybe he didn't want to be involved.
The funny part about it is, over in our racing circle, we have this running joke that Joshua Mercurio cannot pit.
Gosh.
And we have this like running joke whenever he goes to make a green flag pit stop at a super speedway. I'll play a clip that sings "Josh can't pit, not tonight." And now Michael wants me to play that whenever Metallic makes a green flag pit stop, but Metallic can actually hot pit.
The question is, can Michael?
No, he cannot.
All right then.
I have footage of this. He cannot hot pit. He has spun out beside me before.
Case closed. Problem solved. Your argument is illogical. Let's get back to what we're doing, Michael.
Getting ready to go green. Now I think I think these drivers are good to make it on fuel now, right? I would assume, because we've
Well,
crossed
if we're
past
looking at
30 to go.
30, yeah, if we're looking at about 30, 35, like we said, I mean, if it should still be good. I mean, I'm listening to Demar. Demar's clutching, but we're under pacing, so
Yeah, we saw as
even
soon as they took the caution, leader Grant Wesley threw in the clutch and coasted all the way through 1 and 2.
even when I race out there, Seth, and I'm good to go, I still clutch.
Yeah, I do too. It's like a force of habit, right? Even if you're not, short on fuel,
Well, see,
sometimes you just out of habit throw it in the clutch.
these guys, I don't know why they clutch, even when they're good. I don't know why. But you and me, Seth,
We
we're made
clutch
of the
for
same
Feld.
cloth. Yes, we clutch for Feld.
I knew where that was going.
Yes, you did, and that is our tribute all
Yes,
the
it
time.
is.
Starting at Kansas, remember? Clutch for Feld.
I don't actually remember which track it was at.
It was Kansas because it was Buchanan's League IRL.
Oh, okay.
I remember that one.
All right,
I
looks like
think
what 24 laps here
yeah,
left to run.
I think that what they're gonna have to worry about now is their tires. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think fuel is going to be a concern anymore. Tires are going to be an issue, and I believe that at least most of your front runners actually stayed out under this previous caution period, believing that the prior restart they would be good to make it on fuel, or even with the aid of some yellow flags be able to save enough to get to the end. So they have somewhat worn tires here, maybe a lap or two green flag laps on these Goodyears.
Already starting to fan out a little bit 3 wide back here.
A couple of drivers have worked their way up here late, just Ron
Whoa,
Hagelin.
Rivard around.
And there's the
Caution's
caution.
up.
Yep, it took a while. But I think with
Watching
oncoming
these guys.
traffic, they had to throw the yellow for the 35.
4 wide, back down to 3 wide.
Well, these cautions making it more and more, I wouldn't even say likely, more and more confirmation that these drivers are going to be able to make it on fuel. So a lot of these guys might have made their final pit stop of the evening about 10 laps ago.
But what I'm noticing now is this other caution that just came out. These guys, so the guys that just pit, they got tires. The guys that stayed out last run kind of pushed it. You know, like Grant, we've talked about Grant. Maybe Grant was pushing a little bit too much so he could keep track position and whatnot. Well, the longer you do that, all these restarts over and over and over and over, these guys got fresher tires. You're going to have to come into pit, then you got to deal with all this traffic again. So, you might be boxing them into a trap on that side.
Talked about that dreaded apron sending the 35 around. That's a good point. I mean, obviously, if you're on that side of the field that elected to come down and take on the tires, you want this thing to go green the rest of the way, right? These quickie yellows are killing you in terms of being able to utilize those fresh tires on the long run. And also, to your point, you're back there in traffic. But, I mean, I guess, looking at some of these drivers back here, they've been mid-pack to rear of the field most of this race. You got to try something a little bit outside of the box here, because just doing whatever the leader's doing isn't going to help you gain track position.
Oh, I mean, it's basically like I found out. There was a time I ran Bermuda over in, I want to say, if you remember Kevin England, who had that DraftKings series before it got taken over by another driver based on falling out, etc.
That's actually a name I don't recognize.
Well, anyway, the point is, Charles, I believe his name is Charles Coutts, something like that. You know who I'm talking about, Randall's buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he showed me how you can use that to your benefit about not actually being on the lead lap, but you have plenty of fuel while other people don't have the fuel. You just race them really hard and you start pulling away and they think you're on the lead lap or whatever, or you're good to go. They start pushing it as well, trying to make sure they stay ahead of you, and they run out of fuel when you actually got a good tank. There's always many ways to have a trap set up for the leaders. Maybe that's what they're willing to do with Emery and Grant, because let's face it, Grant's dominated this race completely at this point. I will pretty much say that he's dominated. So they got to figure out some way, somehow, to get around that 88 machine. So that's been tires might be it.
There's no points on the line, no bonus points for leading the most laps, but to your point, Grant has led 30 of the completed 48 laps. Frank Rivard had the second most laps led after starting on the pole, 11 in total, but he is now the latest retiree out of the event. He'll finish in 28th. 2 laps led so far tonight for Denny Carroll, 3 for Chris Emery, and then 1 lap apiece for Pat McCarskey and Jerm Lewis. Both those laps led under caution, as this is our 7th yellow of the night, and we have now crossed into the upcoming restart, taking place at less than 20 laps to go. While we have the opportunity here in what's going to be our final RTG broadcast of 2024, want to give a shout out to all of the sponsorship that made it possible for us to be able to broadcast all of these events, whether it be on Thursday nights, some of the Monday and Wednesday night races, and of course here the Christmas special this evening. Ultimate Garage Floors, the Dixon Brothers, Sullen's Paint Designs, and Mark Paglia for their help in the sponsorship of these broadcasts, allowing us to be able to bring them to you here on FRN.
And even though we just said congratulations to the recent season champions, I mean, congratulations to everyone for the whole season, not just for the season of the RTG, but the whole year itself. It's been a pretty decent year. I mean, we've had unfortunate losses of Robbie Nisus and Wiley. Obviously, they're really going to be missed. Always had fun around them. But looking forward, 2025 is around the corner. A lot of new faces, new places, and probably new champions probably going to be crowned. Maybe some old ones break out of that winless streak that we saw. I mean, I'm looking forward to the new season, Seth, because I'm thinking about this past season, right? What did we see? We saw some of these guys break winless streaks and go right back to victory lane, right? The season before that, we saw new winners, new faces up there. So who knows what we're going to get out of this season? And not just with Tally, but the other series too. Always a mystery.
And specifically on the Tally Challenge side, especially in the closing stages of this most recent season, a lot of drivers were talking about the fact that it's getting tougher and tougher to not only win those races, but make it into the playoffs. It used to be, you'd be able to size up 10, 15 drivers that might be your main source of competition for those playoff spots. But no, now the field's extended to 25, 30 drivers on a given night that could easily snipe a win, get the consistency they need to point their way into the playoffs. The playoff spots are a lot harder to come by, it seems now, in these most recent seasons of the Talladega Challenge Series.
Yes, and before we get there, which will be on the start of the week of January 6th, I believe, we got to get this last race in, this last race done, and then we can look forward to that. And I'm wondering, if you win this race, does this automatically lock you into the All-Star race as well?
That actually is a really good question, and I don't know.
But would this be an intermediate, the other version?
I think so. I think this would qualify for intermediate. I believe Talladega, Daytona, and any other type of like the super speedway type racetracks. I think those are the super speedway all-star race qualifications. I believe Michigan Auto Club, the 2-mile speedways, super speedways, they still fall under the speedway category.
19 laps to go, Seth. What are we going to do here?
Well, you mentioned they got to find some way around this 88 that is dominated here tonight. Chris Emery, he's been able to mount a couple of challenges, but some untimely cautions has stifled that momentum. Let's see if he can generate something here. A lot of zeros behind Grant Wesley. You've got 3 of them with Emery, 2 of them with Kelly Causey, who now sluts into 3rd.
And you do realize what we talked about earlier. There's a 39 machine who's made his presence starting to be filled up here.
How about Brian Schilling, too?
He's got a lot of that. He's got a lot of that experience, along with Schilling. Yeah, Schilling's got plenty of experience. We've seen him on Tally Challenge, but we've also seen him being able to win on these other intermediate tracks and other series. So he's going to be a threat. Ulysses is up here as well.
Yes, he is. Sandoval in that 96. Rodney Sullins has been consistently up in the top 10 for the second half of this race. There he is side by side with Schilling in the Wiley Coat tribute scheme.
And back here on about 15th, 16th position, Glenn Harris is starting to make his presence slowly felt getting closer and closer to that top 10. Whoa, Glenn's way up high up there.
There's a lot of drivers mired mid-pack back there, too, that want to be in this conversation at the end.
Absolutely.
Jeremy Jeffries, Jim Gloud, a couple former winners of this event. Jeff Supta's back there. Chuck McClure. Denny Carroll's been out in front a couple of laps tonight. They're all mired back around the 14th to 19th position right now.
Now, we've seen at tracks like Daytona and Talladega, give it to like maybe about 5 laps, you can come from mid-pack to the front. We've seen that happen, 3 lanes, etc. This isn't Talladega. This is not Daytona. They don't have that luxury of time to get up there. If they want to start making moves back here to get up there, this is about the time they need to start doing it. Don't you agree, Seth?
Yeah, early on, because the later you wait, the tougher it's going to be with the tire heat kicking up. Here's the challenge for the lead. Emery got to the inside of Wesley. He's going to have some drafting help from Ulysses Sandoval on the bottom here in the front straightaway. Causey up top with Grant Wesley. They're going to be pretty even here down the front straightaway.
Grant's going to get that run, getting ready to go into 1. I think Chris is going to have it. Look at Kelly Causey with that huge run with Rodney.
There's no side draft, but these drivers are trying to kind of muscle each other out of the groove, try and have that optimal line to the corner. Somebody mid-pack just shot up the racetrack there.
Pat McCarsky, I'm watching him. He's good. He saved it. He never hit the wall.
So we stay green. He was 3 wide with, I think that was Chuck McClure and Brian Lovell at the time. Look at Grant, man, that was risky. He pinned the 000 down there in the entrance to 3. Almost had him in his left rear quarter panel, but it's going to work. He's going to clear for the spot on the front straightaway. Emery will continue to shade low. Let's see if he commits to the bottom going into 1.
3 wide going in turn 1 back here with Soup to Denny Carroll.
Supta's on the move back there in the Grinch Mobile, trying to make his way back up into the top 10. Oh man, those cars on the inside line yanking the wheel back to the right as that car's wanting to snap around on them on the exit of turn 2.
You got that oversteer and understeer. You got to love it.
Man, it's got to be nerve-wracking if you're that car on the outside of them.
And also the one that you're in, because you don't know if there's a driver coming up on your inside.
Side by side now for second. That momentum is stalled out. Look at Brian Lovell back there shooting low.
Look at how tight everyone is in this middle to high side.
Yeah, they're all trying to share that dark gray segment of the racetrack.
And the more they back off like that, the worse and more nervous. Oh, there they go. Bump, a bump, bump. Bob LaChance, Ron Lucier back here. Ron Lucier is driving a Merry Christmas Minions scheme, if you haven't noticed.
That's what it was. Okay, so I was squinting to try and see what it was on the back bumper. I don't know why I thought it was Sesame Street characters.
No, it's the... Bob Ross is calling you. Go home.
I'm old. I have bad eyesight.
Whoa,
wow, what's happening here?
That scared me. 3 wide again.
That's Chuck McClure up the gut. Jeffries to his left, Metallic to his right.
Do you think they want to win this race?
I think they want to win. I think they're realizing time's running out. We're closing in on 10 to go.
3 still wide with Chuck McClure in the middle.
Emery's done a nice job of maintaining second place battle with Kelly Causey on that inside line there, but neither one being able to get up there to Grant Wesley.
Dante's in the middle, 3 wide almost. He's going to be clear. I wonder how long it's going to be before they start really pushing in the corners. We already saw you say that Grant. Whoa!
Oh, there's one. Randy Waugh.
Randy, 4 wide.
4 wide in 1 and 2. Oh, can they make it through this safely? Oh, haggling into the wall. He's going to get Ron Lucier. I think we're going to stay green.
No caution.
Yep, no yellow. Pat McCarsky and Ron Lucier going around on the apron off the racing surface. Officials keep this race under green flag conditions.
Well, like we said, like we were talking about with the aggression going in the corners, it's going to be... I mean, look at this. Look at this. Chuck McClure ready to make a move on DeMar immediately. On this trial, ready for turn 1, setting him up.
Was going to be 3 wide, but then Martin was able to tuck in behind Brian Schilling.
You got Grant, who went to the very bottom that time. I've always seen him go to the middle to the high side, but he went to the very bottom. So now Grant's starting to protect that bottom a lot more.
Trying to put dirty air on the nose of Chris Emery.
A little bit lower than what he has been running. Now he's pushing back up, holding the draft. But like I was saying, though, the aggression going in these corners, Seth, it's going to start picking up, and they're going to need to be very careful. You even said it a little earlier that Grant pinched down the machine earlier of Chris Emery just to keep that spot. So
That was a lot of momentum right there. That was Chuck McClure and Jeff Supta who were linked
people
up on the
on pit
front
road
straightaway.
got Ron Haglin on pit road as well as Pat McCarskey, by the way.
Karski was involved in that spin on the back straightaway. Hagelin got into the wall that then shot him down into Ronald Luce. I don't know if they had
Whoa,
the,
Bob little chance around back here.
and
That's
that's
going
gonna bring out a yellow. And Garland Oaks is gonna get collected as well. That's gonna set us up for a shootout. I think, yeah, we haven't hit the point of no return.
No, they're going to get a restart.
This is gonna be interesting now because we've got, oh, what would it be, about 20 green flag laps now on these tires, and you're asking for probably 6, 7 green flag laps out of them for the remainder of this thing? Oh boy.
If you're Grant, you're a sitting duck at this point.
Yeah, unless you nail the restart. That's the only saving grace for Grant, is if he's able to nail the restart. Well, we got the opportunity. We'll go back and take a look at what brought out the caution, but also what didn't bring out the yellow flag here.
I'll be right back while you look at the replay stuff.
Okay. This is off of turn 2. Ron Luce moving up the track there in reaction to Jim Gloud, and then you see Ron Hagelin bounces off the wall. Luce has nowhere to go. Ah, there's the minions. And Pat McCarskey back there as well. Had to dive onto pit road. Again, though, saving grace, no damage. Able to continue on. And let's see if we can now find out what happened to the 51 of Bob LaChance. Looks like Jim Gloud may have made a late move to the inside going into 3 here. Had a big run. Oh, and LaChance kind of moving down there. Contact with the right front of Gloud and the left rear of LaChance, and then Garland Oaks collected up in it as well in the 67. So that brings out the caution for the 8th time tonight. We did have some drivers hit pit road. Most drivers, looks like, that were back outside of the top 10. They're probably just relying on the fact that fresh tires could help them out if we end up having another yellow up towards the front to be able to make their way through and salvage a decent finishing position this evening. But up at the front, everybody stayed out. And look at the cast of characters we've got now. Wesley and Emery, they've been duking it out here these last couple of restarts. They're going to share the front row again. Kelly Causey right there in 3rd. Sandoval in 4th. Brian Schilling's made his way up to 5th. Brian Lovell in the 6th position. Supta's now up to 7th. Denny Carroll in 8th with Dante Ricky and Doug Hewlick, your top 10. I know, obviously, the no damage has helped a lot of drivers be able to stay in this thing, but you look at drivers like Brian Schilling, Jeff Supta, Denny Carroll, Doug Hewlick, they've all been involved in incidents tonight and been able to mount some good comebacks in the conversation late in this one. Looks like Bob LaChance will not reach the conclusion of this one. He's going to join Pat McCarskey, Frank Rivard, Andre Mahjong, Mark Paglia, John Godfrey, and Greg Palmer in the garage area. We're entering into what is going to be considered the point of no return. More than likely, the next caution will end the race. So we'll, for one final time, give our usual disclaimer. If a caution comes out between now and the checkered flag, we will stay up front. We will follow the leader back to the start-finish line. And we will go back if necessary and look at any subsequent replays under the final pacing laps or post-race. Also be sure to stick around after the checker flag waves and we show you your official finishing results. We'll be heading into our FRN post-race wind-down and talking with our podium finishers on the night. Well, we mentioned the fact that First broadcast we did for the Happy Holidays 200 here for Rolling Thunder Game was back in 2021. The 3 previous winners since then, Jim Gloud, Jeremy Jeffries, and Sean Prime. You got to go all the way back to, it looks like, 11th position before you get to one of those 3 names in Jim Gloud. So everybody in the top 10, at least here on FRN, looking for their first Happy Holidays 200 victory. Ron Hagelin's going to get the free pass, which will put all remaining 25 drivers on the lead lap for the upcoming restart. And if the lights go out, it means we will have a 5-lap dash to conclude this one. And indeed, lights go out. That seems apropos. The Wiley Coat themed pace car with the number 5 on the hood and on the side, indicating 5 laps to close out the year 2024.
Oh, shoot, I thought you said that Brian Schillen was going to be in the lead. I was like, yay, Graham actually went down that road.
Oh, he pulls a Mark Martin.
Or, who was it that called the race early for Dylan, I think it was, or whatever it was?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it was Austin Dillon.
Yeah, but somebody called it early on the commentator broadcast, and he got a lot of heat for it. I don't know who it was.
Adam Alexander, I think?
I think that was Xfinity race, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Anyway.
Well, you know,
So,
I can't say anything because I've actually ended up going, why are they slowing down? They've got one more lap. Oh, no, they just took the checkers. So I've done the opposite of Adam Alexander before in a broadcast.
well, as long as you don't do it wrong here, you should be good.
Okay.
Now we got, oh wow, I just saw Kelly Causey shifting. Wow, okay, so we're going to have 5 laps when we hit the green side. So if they wreck one time, that needs to be in that first lap, and we might get a 1-lap shootout.
Well, maybe. I feel like we're in point of no return now.
Are we?
I think so. We might get a 1-lap shootout if they have the caution here on this upcoming lap, but we'll have to wait and see. We do have all cars on the lead lap, so that is a possibility, but we're going to treat this as a point of no return, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
And I think the drivers are going to as well.
Kelly Causey gets a little jump on Ulysses here, but Chris Emery did not get the restart he wanted off of Grant.
Grant chose that inside line, clears Emery, going up into 1 and 2.
Everyone's fine back here at the moment.
For the time being. 4th place battle going to be the side-by-side between Schilling and Sandoval. Top 3 single file. Emery takes a peek. Looking. Wesley covers.
So far, Clan going back here. I'm on with Ron Hagelin back in the 24th spot.
Grant's got a bit of a gap now to Chris Emery.
Whoa.
Let's see if they can draft
Whoa,
up
there
to
they
the
go,
88.
Denny Carroll's around.
They crossed the line, so we are going to race back still. The leaders at least.
Jerm Lewis just got freaking T-boned. That was a hard hit.
Caution
Stay
is
with it,
out.
Seth. Stay with it.
As we still have a full lap here to settle this thing out. Emery's going to have maybe a decent run down the back straightaway here. Can he do anything with it?
Harris, Ron Louisier, Garland, Jerm Lewis all involved.
Battle going to be for 3rd. Nowhere close to be able to challenge for the win. Off turn 4, Grant Wesley going to lead 48 laps here this evening and pick up the Happy Holidays 200. Caution is out. Race is not yet official. We've got about 3 laps still to conclude here under pacing. But that was the theoretical checkered flag, and Grant Wesley is going to close out the year 2024 with yet another trip to victory lane, this time at the winterized Michigan International Speedway.
Yeah, you sit there and you lead 48 laps, Seth, and you don't win, and you only had 70. Something's kind of up with that, don't you think?
Yeah.
Ask Tim Nosker.
Either you've had bad luck or been bit by strategy. One or the other.
How many laps did Tim lead? Like nearly half of a quarter of the half of the race on Thursday. Yeah, if you don't win something, something's wrong. He won the championship.
Let's go back, take a look at what happened. Looks like a couple of drivers retire out early. Denny Carroll and Ronald Luce. The leader, Grant Wesley, I believe, was the only car that had crossed the start-finish line at the time that the incident took place. But because the leader had crossed the line, they raced back. And it looks like Jim Glaude may get into the left rear quarter panel of Denny Carroll. Let's take this actually all the way back to the middle of 3 and 4 because there was a bit of a checkup here. Dante Ricky pulling up in front of Brian Lovell, who then moves low. And then Denny Carroll down into the 72. Jerm Lewis going to go around up there on the left side of your screen. We'll follow that in a moment. I think we actually had a flip. I think the 616 might have gone up and over. Denny Carroll, I think, got stuck in the snowbank on the front straightaway, actually. Watch this again from this angle. Goes around, and then you'll see his car come to a sudden stop right there. And indeed, Jerm Lewis did go up and over. Let's follow that 616, who was looking potentially of finishing maybe just inside of the top 10 if he'd been able to get through this. Trying to figure out where that 41's going. Gets into the back of Glaude. And then Keith Bynum, Ron and Lucier get into him. Randy Waugh gets clipped. Garland Oaks, Glenn Harris nowhere to go as well. As fortunately, Jerm did land back on all 4 wheels, but took a tumble there in turn 1. So race is going to end under yellow. White flag about to be displayed over the hood of the Gatorade Chevrolet of Grant Wesley. Chris Emery going to be second. Brian Schilling in third. It's like Kelly Causey and Jeff Supta unofficially your top 5. With 2 miles left before Grant's going to be able to pick up the checkered flag and claim the 2024 Happy Holidays 200 at Michigan.
Did you ask me or say anything, Sam? Because if you did, I apologize. I have this little orange kid here who wants to be annoying right
All
now.
being rambunctious?
More than rambunctious.
Is there another term that exceeds rambunctious?
Terms I can't say over broadcast.
Ah.
Which, if anyone knows me, I actually use a lot of profanity, but yeah, here I don't.
Jeff Wesley in our chat says, proved his point. Grant Wesley, best driver in the field. Well, I mean, can't argue. Not here tonight. He's going to lead 51 of the 70 laps this evening. Dominating performance en route to this victory. And
he's making up for all the races he missed.
You know, I said this at the close of the Tally Challenge season. Keep an eye on Grant Wesley because, you know, we saw there was a span of time where he wasn't there on Thursday nights. Even prior to that, he had quite a number of runner-up finishes, couldn't break back into victory lane. Snapped was over a season and a half winless streak during the playoffs. And had
Wait, what?
Really...
He had a winless streak? Really?
He did. Amazingly enough, he went a whole season without a win.
I know.
That's
but
shocking.
That's the joke. That's the joke.
But he's had incredible momentum in the months of November to December, and it will continue here as Grant Wesley is going to pick up the victory, the Happy Holidays 200 here at Michigan for the year 2024.
Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
There's always one. It's not Chuck. Not Ulysses. Come on, it's got to be somebody. It's a tradition. Not Rodney, come on. Somebody.
He's speeding up. Let's see what happens.
Quick, Jess, get on the track. Go get him.
You don't want me to get on this track. You know why I say that?
Why?
I'll probably grip flip right away.
You know.
It's happened to me before.
Do it for the broadcast.
Oh,
wait, what's going on? Jeremy, it was like Jeremy was waiting. It's no damage. He can still do a burnout even if you flip him. Ah, it just slides on by.
Y'all just hate, I'll just slide on by, right?
Exit stage
Delivered
left.
by Domino's. If you're watching
I
for
did
Far
see
Chase,
that.
that was perfect. If you're it's like delivered by Domino's. That's
Wait,
great.
wasn't... No, I was gonna say, wasn't Jeremy sponsored by Domino's at one point in a series? Is that why he slid through that logo?
I don't
Brian
know.
Brian Schilling just moonwalked across the start finish line.
I know Cannon was.
Oh, that's who it is. Yeah. Well, at least the crew here at Michigan shoveled where the victory lane is, so Grant's able to do these burnouts here. And now looks like he'll be heading down maybe to his pit stall to celebrate with his team. Let's see, where was Grant's pit? He was 8th. So yeah, he'd be down here somewhere. Oh, I see his pit sign. Yeah, I think he's going to pull into his stall here and celebrate with the team. There he is. So we'll take a look here at the full finishing results of the night. Again, final race of the season, no points on the line, no playoff spot up for grabs, no championship hanging in the balance. Just an opportunity to go out there, have some fun, and try and end out 2024 on a high note.
Well,
We gave you the top 5.
We've covered, you said, the first 3, right?
Yep.
Or the last 3, I mean. Is that so long it's been going on? It's only 3 seasons?
I believe it's been longer than that. It's just 2021 was the first year we covered it, I believe. I could be wrong.
So who knows how many other racers that Grant just added his name to?
True,
To be
exactly. Grant may be a previous winner of this event. We just don't know it. But of the now 4 events that we've covered, this is his first win on FRN in the Happy Holidays 200. And look at some of these other names, some great runs here. Dante Ricky bringing it home in 6th. Sandoval was up in the top 5 for most of the second half of this race. He'll get 7th. Brian Lovell had a great night in 8th. Chuck McClure had to battle his way up through the field a couple of times. He gets 9th. And Doug Hewlick, who I think was involved in, I want to say, the second caution of the evening, so he lost out on track position very early on in this race, was able to battle back for a top 10. Josh Metallic in 11th. Andre Charest in 12th. Jeremy Jeffries, Jim Glaude, the 2 former winners that we had seen here on FRN win this event, mired together there in 13th and 14th. Rodney Sullins faded back to 15th late. Keith Bynum, Bob Dixon, Richard Martin, Glenn Harris, and Ron Hagelin were the last drivers to finish this race out. Everybody else finished behind the wall, most of them of their own fruition. Greg Palmer, the only one that was forced out of the race after he had the mechanical problem within the first 10 laps, finishing in 32nd place.
Well, I do want to point out something. I do remember when Jeremy won. Because we were making jokes about Oreo, remember?
Yes.
And what happened? Do you remember what happened that when he did that? He ended the season winning this event here.
Yes, that's
He
true.
began the new season by winning as well.
Yep. And if I recall, he won the championship the following year in the Talladega Challenge Series, because that would have been...
I can't remember the championship, though. I just remember he won the following race because we were making jokes about it.
No, actually, no. I think I'm wrong. I think he actually ended up winning the Happy Holidays 200 in the same year he won the Talladega Challenge Championship.
I just remember he won this event, and then the next time he actually won the race or something like that. There was like a win back-to-back thing.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, they run 2 championships in a year, don't they? Or 2 seasons in a year.
3.
3. Okay, then I would be incorrect. He ended up winning the Happy Holidays 200 in 2022, and then won the championship in the Talladega Challenge Series in 2023.
Well, I was going by the fact that he ended up finishing out the year with a win. Then he ended up the first race coming in. He actually ended up winning. And now I don't know if that was Talladega Challenge or that was something else we were broadcasting where he won, which is possible. But he did win back to back. So I'm wondering, Grant winning this, I wonder if this is a precursor to see what's about to come in 2025.
Could very well be. As I said, I think he's got a ton of momentum here at the close of this year in preparation for next season.
But he's got a problem, though.
What's that?
That guy that finished 3rd, if Grant's back, guess who else is back?
Oh boy.
Yeah, that number 4 machine. If Grant's back and that 4 machine comes back, and that 4 machine's going to be a force to be reckoned with Grant too.
They're going to have a fuel save off.
I don't know. It all depends if Stirling Motors can hold up.
There's the deciding factor for sure. I don't know.
So
It's been a while since we've seen a Schilling motor go south, so maybe they've upgraded their program.
How about we find out?
Absolutely. Let's
User was
dial up
moved
our
to
third
your
place
channel.
finisher. Brian, Jess, and Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got us?
Yeah.
You say it, I'm not.
Well, okay, so first thing I'm going to say is it's great to see you back on the racetrack. We've missed seeing you out there on Thursday nights, but man, I'll tell you what, it looked like we could kind of single out 3, 4, 5 drivers that were really good on the long run. This Ford was definitely on that list. Was there anything you could have done there with the amount of laps left to be able to get those two, especially if we'd been able to finish those final 3 or so laps under green?
Maybe. It felt pretty good. I wasn't really pushing it real hard. But it was just hard to tell. We couldn't get enough of a run to really know exactly how it was going to work.
We saw advantages swing in 2 different directions. Which side were you on, track position or tires? Which was the most important thing tonight?
Track position.
And obviously, this racetrack, this event, no points, no championship, just an opportunity to go out there, have some fun, try and get that final checkered flag of the season. It looked, though, like a lot of intensity out there on the racetrack. Big field, a lot of double wide, three wide. We saw on occasion four wide, even in the center of the corner. So, how crazy from a driver's perspective was it taking part in tonight's event?
Thankfully, I wasn't in the real crazy areas at the times. It was happening in front of me. Definitely looked fairly crazy, but besides that one wreck I got involved in, it was pretty well. 2 wrecks. The one under yellow. My apologies, Josh. It was actually fairly calm where I was.
You better ask him.
Okay, I'll ask him. So we're talking about the fact that the engine held up. We've seen not as much problems with the Schilling motors in the past. Have we had an upgrade? Have we upgraded those engines now so they're more reliable?
Dodge power.
You hear it. He said it, and I didn't.
You prompted me to say it. Okay, it's half your fault.
Yeah, just Dodge power.
Dodge power. Okay, gotcha. Well, Brian,
Are we going to see? Are we seeing you back now? Are you back on a full-time basis on the new 2025 season to make another run of the Challenge Championship, or what?
Yep. I will be making a full-time return to Thursdays.
good to hear. Well, Brian, congratulations closing out the season with a podium here at Michigan in the Happy Holidays 200. We'll give the opportunity here for thank you sponsors and shoutouts.
Congratulations, Grant. So it was good to be back. Great to hear some familiar voices. Thank you to the ownership here. It was, I missed it. Thank you to Tim and David for adminning the race. Just thank you everybody that's reached out to me while I've been gone. It means the world to me. And I just want to say too, this one, I didn't get to run this car that much, but I'm glad I was able to put the Wiley tribute car towards the front here. So, and thank you for putting the broadcast on. I'll look forward to watching it.
Absolutely. That's Brian Schilling. Yep.
I did want to say it's great to see you back, Schilling, and I'm looking forward to racing again in the new year. And hope that you have a happy holiday and Merry Christmas. That's ready to do.
Yes, you as well.
That's Brian Schilling, third place finish here tonight in the Happy Holidays 200 at Michigan. He'll look to carry this momentum into the year 2025. Let's see if we can dial up the driver that brought it home. Second place this evening, led 4 laps tonight, was one of the prime contenders there for trying to wrestle the lead away from Grant Wesley. That was Chris Emery. Chris, Justin, Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you, Seth. Hey, what's up, Jeff?
Hey, started second, finished second, and I don't think fell outside of the top five the entire night. You were the chief hounder on that 88 machine and actually got to his inside a couple of times. It just kind of seemed like the longer the run went on, you couldn't get that momentum off the corner. So, what kind of adjustments were you trying to make to be able to have the nose out in front?
Man, I was just trying to not to wear my tires out and get them all heated up. So maybe at least later in the run, I could maybe get him. And I had a couple of close calls where I could have gotten under him, but I didn't just have it enough, I thought. And so I stayed in line because the draft is really important here too. But yeah, it was overall pretty good. I had actually a number of runs, but it's just didn't feel like the right timing until like there was one time in the race I got a good one and got by him pretty quickly. But yeah, man, Grant's pretty good. It's hard to get by him.
Well, we saw you multiple times use that inside lane to your advantage, only to, no offense, lose out on the huge run that they would have on that outside, like Grant had quite a few times. And there was a point where you actually had, I think it was Sandoval or Kelly Causey behind you, drafting with you. Was that inside line just not working hardly at all? I mean, we saw the entry work, but coming off of it and down the straightaway, it just seemed like it wasn't worth going down there half the time.
Yeah, it gets pretty tight off the corners. Even if you do kind of make your line right, and get your line right off the corner. Um, and the thing is the draft. If you don't have any draft down there, it's a good thing Ulysses or Kelly was behind me because the draft's very important, or I would have been falling back pretty quickly. But yeah, and then they must have overdrove the corner like a little bit late because I was able to squeeze in between either Kelly and Grant and finally kind of hold position. But yeah, I wish I could have got by him. It's pretty tough here for sure.
We also saw a lot of drivers hitting the apron as well. I mean, did you hit the apron at any point? And how does the hitting the apron affect the handling of the car, not just when you hit it, but setting yourself up for the next corner?
Yeah, I wasn't hitting the apron at all during the race tonight, so I've definitely done it before. Yeah, it'll kind of shoot you up the track. If you do it down in 3 and 4, it might spin you around. But yeah, I'm just fortunate I had a good handling car tonight.
You talked about having a couple of opportunities that you didn't take on making a move on Grant there. Obviously, unfortunately, we saw this race end under yellow. If we'd had those final 3.5 so laps under green flag conditions, was there anything you had kind of learned in the previous challenges you'd had against him that you could have maybe then been able to get him if we had continued to trend green up to the checkered flag?
Yeah, I thought during the night I had a better 1 and 2 than Grant. A little bit better arc, but he was still able to hold the lead there pretty good. So it was difficult, not gonna lie, but probably would have made my move down in 1 and 2 if I had a better chance.
Heck of a showing here tonight, nonetheless. Started in the top three, finished in the top three here this evening. Second place performance, led a few laps as well. And as I said, I don't think you ever fell outside of the top five the entire evening. So maintained that track position the entire 70 laps here at Michigan. Chris, congratulations on the job well done. We'll turn it over to you for thank you, sponsors, and shoutouts.
Hey, thanks, Seth. I appreciate it. Yeah, I want to thank RTG, FRN, LRL, or excuse me, RLM. I want to thank my mom and all my family. I want to thank Germ. He lets me come over here and race. It's really fun. And just Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Yeah, thanks for letting me race here.
Second place for Chris Emery. Congratulations once again on the great performance tonight. Have yourself a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and best of luck in what comes up in the series that you run here in RTG for the year 2025.
Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Chris Emery in that Blue Angels 000 machine, second place here tonight. And let's see if we can go
User
down
was
now
moved out
to
of your
Victory
channel.
Lane that has been completely covered with the Goodyear tire rubber off of the Gatorade Chevrolet. Led a race high 51 laps to the
User
win
was
here
moved to your
tonight.
channel.
See if we can get a hold of Grant Wesley. Grant, Justin Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got us?
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, a little happy Christmas early for you here tonight at Michigan. I mentioned this at the close of the 63rd season for the Tally Challenge that I think we need to keep an eye on this 88 car's momentum in preparation for next year. I think this just kind of, I don't know, I feel like this kind of confirms that intuition here. Strong race car tonight. Had to work your way up from outside the top five to the race lead, but once you got it, nobody seemed to be able to wrestle it away from you. Track position seemed prime here tonight. How were you able to keep it the entire race?
Oh yeah, I mean, you said it exactly right. Track position was just king. The last time I pitted was around lap 39, I think, about just past halfway. It's funny. I was joking with the guys on the admin whisper. I said, I think I'm good to make it on fuel, and I was. But yeah, I just kept the thing out front in the clean air. You can definitely be on just slightly older tires with that clean air here. It helps a little bit, but another thing that helped me a lot, there was a lot of guys that had the same frame of mind there, kind of staying out. So that put a buffer between us and the fresh tires. And yeah, that's what won me the race.
We knew tires are an important facet, especially at this type of a racetrack. We've seen it in the past here with this event in December. Now, you talked about being able to make it on fuel there around a little past the halfway point. We saw in the early going a lot of drivers having difficulty with the cold, slick, fresh tires on restarts. But what about the older tires when we had a couple of these runs and you kept that track position, being able to make it on fuel? How much of a struggle was it to keep the car under you, especially coming off what seemed to be a couple of trouble spots there, the exit of turn two and the exit of turn four?
Yeah, once again, if you're the car out front, I never had any issues on the older tires, just being in that clean air. But I knew that would be an issue for some of them that were further back in the field. Unfortunately, cautions breed cautions. This is a Christmas race; it's just for fun, just a celebration of the entire year, really. And so we had the damage was off. Unfortunately, I feel like whenever you do that, you're just asking for more trouble. We had a pretty big field here from Michigan, so I kind of expected some yellow flag laps, and yeah.
So I obviously mentioned about the fact that you had that momentum at the close of the Tally Challenge series, and you have this win here tonight. I asked you the question then, but I'm going to ask it now because it might actually just continue to reaffirm the mentality heading into next year. With this being a special event, granted there's no points on the line, but what does this do for your psyche and your momentum on the eve of 2025 and the new season starting up?
Oh man, I love winning these crown jewel events, if you will. They're just so special. There's a lot of build up and hype around them, and everyone comes out here with the mentality to basically win. There's no points on the line, and you kind of get some different racing attitudes and stuff, and everyone brings their best effort. And man, it means so much to win these, and definitely builds the confidence up. I've been in this Aero 88 car, on Thursdays with the super speedway stuff. I've been on a roll and got the momentum rolling there, and I carried it right on over to Michigan. And man, definitely excited to get 2025 going.
Well, hey, before you close it out, Seth, I gotta say something now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was being nice and all courteous and respectful sitting here, letting you do your thing, Grant. Then you had to go say something. You had to go say about winning these crown jewel events. So, there's this one thing. If you remember Matt Kenseth when him and Logano got into it and all like that, and they made a joke about the ambulance at Richmond, and then there's a little meme that says, "Just wait till Martinsville," regarding for Kenseth saying that anyone who wants to mess with him. Well, hey Grant, just wait till Daytona. Are you gonna go 3 for 3 against me now?
Someone has to finish second. I'm sorry
I
that
no.
Oh, man.
You hear this? You hear this? Shots are being fired already, huh?
Hey, look, the two of you have had that photo finish. I've just been happy to be there, okay? I think I had a one top five during one of your guys' photo finish. The other one, I was nowhere to be seen, so.
Hold on. On both of them, Grant. Were we running the same scheme in each race?
I don't remember. Yeah, but no, I'm gonna keep a Gatorade bottle in the car just in case you start pulling some shenanigans.
Oh. So I could hit the apron and bounce up. Oh, I'm sorry. I got two blues, or I got.
Was that Rusty Wallace that threw his bottle at Earnhardt or something like that at Bristol? I
Oh,
think.
okay. So you're gonna throw that at me? Well, then you know what? I'll have to make a call to Ken Schrader and see if I can't get a bird to fly across the freaking track at Pocono to wreck you.
Oh man, I'm just sitting back here just
But
enjoying
yeah,
this.
I'm happy to see that you're back along with Schilling. It's great to have you back, and it's great to see the competition come back a little bit, and hopefully you'll be back more frequently, and hopefully those calls that you have for work, they can like kind of skip Thursday.
Yeah, and yeah, as far as that goes, my work schedule, I'm going to be at home pretty much until the fall. So, yeah, you got to put up with me until then.
Well, Grant, congratulations on the victory here tonight. You have white, you have green on the car. Guess a little bit of red in the Gatorade logo. So we'll call it a Christmas scheme here
No,
tonight in victory.
no,
No,
no, no, no, no, no. He has the quote unquote Ken Roberts wannabe scheme right
we
now.
we can't make that joke anymore.
No, no,
Rodney's
no, no,
fixed
no.
it.
He's got the Ken Roberts wannabe scheme. I said it's a wannabe.
Oh. Well, Ken actually has red on the car. This only has like orange, but
Yeah.
we'll
Now,
technically
now
still
he
call it
wants
a
it.
Christmas scheme. Grant, congratulations on the win. We'll let you get back to your celebrating, but first, floor is yours for thank you sponsors and shout outs.
Yeah, once again, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. This is a Christmas race, and I wish everyone happy holidays and a good new year. So, with that, I'd like to thank the owners here, David Cannon and Sean Prime, the admins. I think Tim was the head admin. Him and Bones were kind of putting this on, and pretty much all of us just sort of pulled together, clearing blacks and stuff. So just the entire administration, just thanks to those guys. FRN, man, thank you guys for doing the broadcast as always. I'd like to thank my teammates with XFM. Also, I want to give a shout out to Chris Emery and Kelly Causey there. Man, they were up front there the last 10 or so laps, and I had a lot of fun working with both of those guys, and great run by both of them also. And I'd like to thank my friends and family for watching, and my girlfriend Brittany.
That's Grant Wesley. Great way to close out the year 2024. He's the winner of the Happy Holidays 200 here at Michigan tonight for Rolling Thunder Gaming, and he will look to carry what's been quite a plethora of momentum here at the close of this year into the year 2025. Congratulations on the victory, Grant. Go enjoy it, and we look forward to seeing you at the start of season 64 next year.
Thanks, guys.
User was moved out
As we
of your
said,
channel.
dominating performance here tonight by Grant Wesley, leading 51 laps en route to the checkered flag. Just one final shout out in our YouTube comments here this evening. Al Sullins said he enjoyed the chats over the years. See you next year. Merry Christmas and be safe. Same to you, Al. Appreciate you tuning in every Thursday night, keeping us company there in the YouTube chat, and everybody that tunes into our coverage, whether it's on Thursday nights or on any other night of the week. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Jeff Wesley as well, just chiming in here in our chat. Great job on the broadcast. Merry Christmas, everyone. Same to you, Jeff. Appreciate everybody that tuned into our coverage, not only here tonight, but the entire year. And, every broadcast that we do here, whether it's NR, whether it's iRacing, doesn't matter. Appreciate everybody chiming in, keeping us company in the YouTube chat. And, of course, hopefully you enjoy our coverage. But, Jess, a
Wait,
great. Huh?
where's Milt? We didn't see Milt.
No
Where's
Milt.
Milt?
We didn't have the who you got Surratt tonight.
Well, I like to think of him as, there's that meme that goes out with when I don't know exactly the origin of it, but I know it's like, give him some milk. He needs
We
some
need
milk.
some
Well,
Milt.
yes, we gotta have some milk. Give
Why'd
us
you
some
do
milk.
that? Now that's a meme I'm gonna run with too. I
Go
thought who
for
you
it.
got Surratt was good, but now I feel like you've one upped me.
Yeah, there you go.
We need some
He,
Milt.
yes.
I like it. I like it. What a way to end out the year here, though, Jess. Always look forward to these special events to close out the season, gets drivers geared up in preparation for the new year, and a great one here tonight. Appreciate you joining me up here in the booth. I want you to have yourself a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year as well. We get to see you out on the track on Thursday nights again next season and everything, and we got future broadcasts that'll be coming up more than likely in 2025 as well. So whether out on the racetrack or up here in the booth. Can't wait till the next time that we're back together.
Always a pleasure, and it's always fun when it happens between us. Considering, sad about Michael though. I thought Michael would have been here, but nope. You got to have that pizza.
He's got to go see the Christmas movie Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in general. He always has to work. Pizza.
Pizza. Somehow
But yeah, I
he
enjoy
never
it.
brings pizza up into the booth though.
I know.
You'd think he'd have those kind of perks, but nope, apparently not.
Yeah, you see him on the track. He drives a generic Pennzoil car. Like,
Yep.
what? Really?
Well, he's got to do that for Logano.
I don't understand. Real quick, I don't understand. I could be doing a Mega Team race with you. I could be doing one of RTG's broadcasts with you. I could do anything like that. If I can race and he can be up here in the broadcast with, who says he can't race and I be up here in the broadcast with, right? Like, come on.
He'd be scared to death in a RTG field.
Well, I mean, we've seen him in practice. He does well, and then he ends in extraordinary fashion.
As long as he stays away from Seminaire and Despirito. I don't know what it is going on with those guys in practice, but they was like messing with him.
Well, let's see. Now it makes sense. You know how I mess with them all the time in our team seat?
Yep.
In our group? Yeah. Who's been hanging out with Seminara? Who hangs out with Spirit a little bit on these tracks?
Yep.
Exactly. Yep, now it's full circle.
We found the chief culprit.
Yep.
But once again, everybody, appreciate tuning into our coverage here tonight. Appreciate Rolling Thunder Gaming for giving us the opportunity to be able to do these broadcasts here as well. Always look forward to them, and we are going to be back. I believe you said, just the week of January the 6th?
Yep, and
that's going to begin the new season. And we'll be back on Thursday nights for what will be the upcoming 64th season. Can't believe that. 64 seasons of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Talladega Challenge series.
And either way you look at it, whether you're celebrating Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Christmas or whatever religion you believe in, happy holidays from all of us at FRN.
Absolutely. For Jessica Shelton, I'm Seth Cole. We'll see you all in 2025 as you've been watching yet another broadcast courtesy of FRN, the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.